Hello and welcome to part 2 of the incredible mythical creatures sightings and encounters. The Walsh vampire. German vampires were known to prefer their own family members as victims. In one infamous case from the 18th century, several members of the noble Walsh family inexplicably died after the death of a male relative. The family feared that the older man was responsible, so they sent Joseph, the accused vampire's nephew, to take care of him. Armed with an axe, accompanied by a monk with a candle, Joseph ventured into the family crypt in modern-day Jakobsdorf, Germany. Although the monk ran away, Joseph was not afraid. He decapitated his uncle's body without a second thought. The young man took some of the vampire's blood for a souvenir. And it was said that the headless Walschlager vampire was still in the family crypt more than a century later. In the late 12th century, historian William of Newburgh recounted a story that he had heard from an elderly monk about a reanimated blood-sucking corpse that stalked the area of Anantis Castle. The vampire had once been a Yorkshire man who took refuge in the castle, possibly fleeing from his enemies or the law. The man had been a terrible person while alive, and he was even worse as a vampire. His stench poisoned the air wherever he went, and he was always being followed by howling dogs that the devil sent after him. After the town was nearly depopulated, two brothers dug up the vampire's body and hit it with their shovel. The vampire's body was bloated, and after being hit, it let out much of the blood it had sucked. To destroy the creature, the brothers cut out its heart and set its body on fire. Number 3. Witch. The origin of witches. Early witches were people who practiced witchcraft. They used magic spells and called upon spirits for help or to bring about change. Most witches were thought to be pagans doing the devil's work. Many, however, were simply natural healers or so-called wise women, whose choice of profession was misunderstood. It's unclear exactly when witches came on the historical scene, but one of the earliest records of a witch is in the Bible in the book of 1 Samuel, thought be written between 931 BC and 721 BC. It tells the story of when King Saul sought the witch of Endor to summon the dead prophet Samuel's spirit to help him defeat the Philistine army. Witch hysteria really took hold in Europe during the mid-1400s, when many accused witches confessed, often under torture, to a variety of wicked behaviors. Within a century, witch hunts were common and most of the accused were executed by burning at the stake or hanging. Between the years 1500 and 1660, up to 80,000 suspected witches were put to death. There are numerous accounts about how witches harm their victim. From Europe it grew to the New World, which has become so popular also within their colonies. In the Philippines, witchcraft still exists. Mangkukulam is the local term for witch. They usually accept payments from people who want to curse someone whom they hate or have a personal grudge on. Most of the time, they will inflict their victims with illness that when they go to a doctor, the findings are normal and negative for whatever sickness or diseases. Mangkukulam can put any object to their victim that will cause illness and sufferings. They can curse people using a photograph, a sample of the person's hair or any belongings of that person. Another type of witch in the Philippines is called Mambabarang, which also uses black magic in their rituals. Mambabarang uses insects in causing harm, pain, suffering and trauma to their victim. Both Mangkukulam and Mambabarang can cause death eventually if not healed by the albulario. Albularios knows how to challenge and dispute curses. Often they challenge each other using spells. It's hard to identify really the Mangkukulam and Mambabarang, for they are also humans who live ordinarily amongst us. Number 2. Tickalang. A Tickalang is a creature of Philippine folklore said to lurk in the mountains and forests of the Philippines. It is a tall, bony humanoid creature with the head and hooves of a horse. Tickalangs or Tigbolans scare travelers, lead them astray and play tricks on them, such as making them return to an arbitrary path no matter how far they go or turn. Others believe it is a demon who is determined to cause trouble for those who cross its path. The episode takes us back in time to the pre-Spanish era where we learn about their animist beliefs. Before the arrival of Western colonizers, Tickalang has been part of the culture and history of the land. For native elders who have had experienced a close encounter with the creature, they have so much to tell. They say that Tickalangs are not that sinister. The worst they can do is to make fond of a person in the forest by playing with his senses. You can never reach your destination. You will find yourself to the same part of the jungle where he started to put a spell on you, even you've been walking for quite some time. But they can also be aggressive if you badmouth or curse them, or when you cut the tree where he used to rest. Before, they try to visit villagers and show off with the strength and speed they possess. According to elders, there's an ongoing wedding between Tickalangs when it is raining while the sun is shining at the same time. Today, there are several stories that might give us an idea that they really exist, and even up to now. Try to visit the thick jungles and forests, particularly in Visayas and Mindanao region.